I do have the power. Ready?
Yeah.
Boom.
Hello, everyone, and welcome into the Banter. Super exciting episode. We're joined by Brad, Robbie, myself, and as always, Konner.
Hey.
Konner. This is the first. Actually, we won't talk about the video until later in the episode, so we can give everyone ample time of spoilers.
Okay, that sounds good.
So if you haven't watched it,
if you haven't watched
it.
Connor's Break 86,
we are
and you
going
don't
to talk
want
about
spoilers, we're going to probably talk about some stuff that'll spoil that.
Yeah.
So don't listen unless you're ready. But a lot of people watch it, so I think we'll be fine. But before we get into all of that, we got to talk about our sponsors for a second first. Today's episode is brought to you by Manscaped. Gentlemen, our friends over at Manscaped have been working night and day and night to bring you a grooming experience like none other with their brand new Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. We're talking about a next-generation trimmer with interchangeable blade heads for whatever shave your mind can imagine. You can upgrade your grooming game to the Ultrasphere this year by going to manscaped.com and get 20% off plus free shipping with the code BANTER20. AI is cool and all, but I think this might be the biggest technological advancement the world has ever seen. That's not an overstatement. Every man knows how scary it can get when you're going for a close shave down there, and that's why I trust Manscaped for all our sensitive areas. Inside the package, you'll find the star of the show, the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra.
5.0.
Their 5th generation trimmer features 2 interchangeable next-gen skin-safe blade heads, a standard one for taking a little off the top, and a new foil blade for going smooth wherever your heart desires. And we also have a dual LED spotlights in there to provide contrast on multiple skin tones, 3 link setting combs, and did I mention this thing's waterproof too? So you can get 20% off and free shipping with the code BANTER20 at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with the code BANTER20 over at manscaped.com. Why you got so much reverb on me, Konner?
I wish, Hunter, whenever we're done with this, you gotta go back and watch it so you can see what Robbie and Brad were doing that whole entire time. Well, you could hear what Brad was doing.
I could hear Brad. Yeah. I don't know what was going on behind me.
I was just trying to be the hype track for it.
It was working. It was working
a little
great.
charade.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for a Manscaped package to get to my house. I'm out of beard liquidations, and my beard has never been drier.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever tried the beard products No. Yes, I have. And I just stopped for no reason at all.
Yeah. I use the beard stuff in the shower, because you can. It's like a shampoo.
This is gonna be. This is probably the best advertisement. These 3 men have used Manscaped beard products. I haven't. Yeah. Who do you want to look like? something to think about there. Robbie, why don't you tell us about? I think since the last time you were on the Banter, you have a new vehicle.
I do.
You're a truck
hit him
guy
with
now.
it.
Truck
Big
gang.
Truck guy.
How's it been?
It's immaculate is the best way to describe it. I'm coming from. So I had a Jeep Renegade, which is like you're cool enough to be in the Jeep crew, but you're not actually really in the Jeep crew. Like you don't get to do the Jeep wave.
I was gonna say, did you do the Jeep wave or no?
Oh, I did it, but no one did it.
I would never wave at him. I would never wave at
It's
someone.
like it's weird.
Renegade.
Everyone just decided to wave one finger back at me. I don't know
I
what's
thought
going
the
on.
wave was 2 fingers. It must be a Renegade thing. So, yeah, no, I mean, I'm 6'3", so that's something a lot of people when they meet me, probably the thing I hear the most is, you're way taller than I thought you were.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
When I am in the Renegade, I didn't really fit. So moving to a truck, already huge. And now I don't feel like I have to be a burden on every person in my life who owns a truck when I'm like, oh yeah, Lindsay wants me to I don't know, get some stuff to fix the backyard or build raised beds for plants and whatnot. Now I can just go to Lowe's. I can get some lumber. I can throw in the back of my truck and then drive it. So, yeah, we have a Chevy Silverado. I call it a Silverado.
Why?
Because he wears a cowboy hat.
It honestly, being a cowboy hat guy when I turned 31 and then owning a truck now, I just feel like I'm buying a ranch next.
Have you worn?
Are you gonna go Hidden Valley or Off-Brand Ranch?
You can have a truckload.
I am firmly convinced that heaven is the Hidden Valley where ranch is made. That is where it is.
Have you wore the cowboy hat in the Silverado?
Oh yeah. I actually wore a cowboy hat to a wedding this past weekend.
Oh, heck
wow,
yeah.
you went. Wow, you're going full on.
Yeah,
Was it like a cowboy hat kind of wedding, or like you the cowboy hat guy there?
I texted the groom. And I said, hey, I want to wear a cowboy hat to your wedding. Is that okay? And he said, absolutely, go for it.
Written
and I
consent.
said, next question. I need you to ask your fiance, can I wear a cowboy hat to her wedding? And he said, all right, 1 second. So they came back and she's like, yeah, she's cool with it. I said, great. Now I'm going to ask my wife if I can wear a cowboy hat with her.
Say, I already got permission from the bride.
Look, I already got permission from everyone else I need. It's just up to you now.
Yeah, it's just up to you if you want to take pictures with me in this.
That is so funny.
Lindsay's a sport. So
I went to a wedding in Colorado. One, I was naive to the fact that rednecks exist all over the world. Okay,
Interesting.
because I'm from outside of Charlotte area of North Carolina, from a town called Union County, and it's just in the middle of a bunch of cornfields. My middle school was literally in the middle of cornfields, just a building in the middle of cornfields, and so I like grew up in like redneck town, and so I thought I knew what redneck was, and then I went to Durango, Colorado, and those people are like real rednecks, as in like they are real farmers, like not like they just herd cattle all day. Like there's just these guys that are in high school that like their job is they just go herd cattle instead of going to high school, and they were awesome. Some of the nicest people I've ever met. And so the redneck community is strong. It's all over the U.S. and I'm proud of that. But I went to this wedding there. It was a beautiful wedding in like this really pretty venue and everything. Just like a bunch of like grass and like a little like pond and the mountains in the background. Everybody's wearing a cowboy hat. Like not like a trendy cowboy hat, but like full like the cowboy hat that you wear. Like it's like a real cowboy hat. And it's because they are all cowboys. And
That's what I was gonna say. I think you're not describing rednecks, you're describing cowboys.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
And sorry for any
Hunter-
cowboys he just offended.
No.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Hunter and I have realized that we have different understandings of the word redneck. To me, redneck is not like a belittling phrase. It's not. It is like it's just like a type of person. There's nothing wrong with being redneck in my head. There was like growing up, me and my dad would do things and we'd be like, that's really redneck, but it'd be like out of pride. We'd be like, I'm proud of how we just found a way to make this thing work out of nothing. Like that's like redneck is like fine to me.
Well, and
yeah,
the context was supposed to be right. Like they're called rednecks because they've been out in the sun working, and their neck is literally red. Like,
yeah, I guess that makes sense.
I think redneck is like southern country like back road is redneck. Cowboy is like Midwest country, raise cattle. Like you have some cowboys out here, but those are like the big farms. Like to be a cowboy, John Chris used to do the is he like all hat
Robbie's
no
over, like,
cattle?
cut it off, Hunter, cut it off.
Like all hat no cattle.
Oh, I was saying.
You see what I'm saying?
He said we have cowboys out here, and I pointed at me, and then he goes, "Yeah, like ones that own like a bunch of land and all that." And I was like, "Oh, that's not me." That's not me.
Because John Chris would post a picture on his story, and basically be like, is he all hat no cattle or is he a real cowboy?
See,
the difference.
All hat.
I think coming from the north, maybe redneck has a derogatory. A derogatory.
I understand that for most people it does.
Because we did plenty of like, we would say like that's very country of us versus like redneck. That's what we would say. So I think that, and if you called someone a redneck, I mean like they were trashy from where I'm from.
I get that.
I'm more with you guys. I aspire to be as redneck as possible. That's like where I want to be in my life. And I feel like cowboys are like the knights of the rednecks.
Now that I like a lot.
See, I would say rednecks, cowboy, all country.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Rednecks, I feel like, would want to be cowboys. Rednecks are almost posers in a certain extent. Like if you gave them the opportunity to be a cowboy, they would be, but they don't have the like. They don't have the farm, the cattle, all of that.
Well, I think
so
the difference is
they're just like hardcore country.
They want to live the lifestyle, but they don't have the means or ability to have like the actual life.
So rednecks are a little bit more wild. Cowboys are a little more put together. We got a job to do. We're gonna get up sun up to sundown and get out there.
Like
and
you
do
want
it.
your daughter to date a cowboy, you don't want your daughter to date a redneck.
Great point. Yes, I would agree.
I get that.
Now, see, I would say I'm going to throw a third word into the mix here.
Go ahead,
because I
go
think
for it.
Be ready for the beat
I
button.
think rednecks are like, it's. You guys don't know if I said it or not. It's hillbilly.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think that like
Hillbilly,
if you're from the
yeah.
South, your like redneck doesn't necessarily have a derogatory like vibe to it, because we would be like, oh dude, that dude's a hillbilly. Like
yeah. You're right.
But I think
that's
from
the
the
full
north,
scope.
you're probably like in the north when you hear hillbilly, you're like thinking Beverly Hills hillbillies.
No,
Yeah, the north is California.
No, in the north, when we hear hillbilly, it's funny. You like jump. It's like you don't want to be a redneck, but you like really aspire to be a hillbilly, because that
Really?
in my head, a hillbilly is like they're in the mountains of Appalachia. They're like I have a cabin up on a hill. They're out on their porch playing a banjo. They're making homemade cornbread, and they're like just chilling. Like,
hey Cletus, we're about to go outside and shoot some snakes down by the creek.
But
I've always
hillbillies like
heard is
only
if you-
speak mountain.
If you hear the banjo, you've gone too far.
that's true.
That's the
I've heard-
phrase around here.
I had a band in high school that we had a banjo in, so I always found that very offensive.
Well, basically, yeah, 'cause that means if you hear the banjo, you're on a property you shouldn't be on, and there's about to be a shotgun.
I
Just pointed
disagree.
at
I
you.
think if you hear a banjo, you're like, this is about to be a good time. There's a banjo playing.
Let's test it. Let's go drive, and if you start hearing a banjo playing, I'm gonna turn around. You keep going and see if you're met with a shotgun.
Listen, man, the banjo is a beautiful instrument. I don't like that it gets a bad rap.
The
It
shotgun's a
doesn't get a bad
beautiful
rap.
instrument.
The
shotgun is
banjo-
also a beautiful instrument.
It's not the banjo that gets the bad rap. It's if you're in the middle of the woods and you hear a banjo, there's a solid chance you don't want to mess with the person on the other end of that banjo.
If I'm in the middle of the woods and I hear a banjo, I think there's
Like,
a
you're
really
just walking-
nice family. There's
If
a
you
like.
hear-
Where's why is there a banjo here?
I think there's a really nice
Love it.
family.
I love it.
There's a really nice family who is in a 4-piece bluegrass band, and they've done it together. And they're sitting on their porch and they're playing bluegrass, and I want to go join them.
Yeah, but then you walk up and they don't know you're coming.
Oh yeah. Oh,
family who's
I would
playing
not come
blue-
unannounced. I
That's
would
what I'm
not come
saying. If you
unannounced.
hear a banjo, you've gone too far.
I would.
'Cause
I
that
would-
means
I
like
would
you're
take out-
driving.
I would take out my harmonica that I always carry in my pocket. That's not true, but I'm
they
gonna
would
start
shoot
doing
you.
it.
They would shoot you because they think you're reaching for a gun.
Yeah.
No, I'm
You pull up. You're like, hey guys.
I'm not visible yet. I'm not visible yet.
Oh, even worse, in a ghillie suit.
No, here's
You're
what's happening.
invisible.
All right, I'm floating down the creek on my kayak.
Are you
okay?
Ron Weasley in this? Do you have the cloak of invisibility?
I am always Ron Weasley.
Okay.
I'm floating down the creek in my kayak, okay, in the middle of nowhere, and then I hear banjo. All right, then I immediately, because I can't see them, they probably can't see me either. So I'm taking out my harmonica.
How
and
are
I'm
you
just-
invisible again? I'm sorry, I zoned
You're
out.
in
No,
your,
I'm not-
you're
no,
in your
I'm saying, like,
kayak.
you're-
Isn't your
no.
kayak like yellow?
Camo?
No.
Oh.
I'm not saying I'm invisible. I'm just not.
He's not visible
Clay
yet.
Aiken, okay?
I'm saying the same way that I hear the banjo but don't see it. Not magic. They're just not near me.
So you're blind.
Okay, yeah.
No.
They're blind. No,
They're blind. You're deaf. They're blind.
No, they just can't see me yet, and I can't see them yet because there's a distance, like how that works
okay.
with trees and such.
Yeah.
They have really bad eyesight.
Like I can't see Trevor right now because he doesn't come on the banter.
Precisely.
And there's distance between us. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
so I'm
Correct.
going down
All right,
the
I got
creek and I hear banjo. I'm taking out my harmonica and I'm joining in on the harmonica. Then they hear that and they play the banjo more as an invitation. And that way they know there's a guy with a harmonica coming, not me rolling up and be like,
Yeah.
Well,
reaching out my pocket
if
like
you're
that,
far
you
enough
know?
away playing the harmonica to what they're playing, they're like, this guy has no rhythm because there's like obviously a long delay.
Also,
between.
a banjo is like famously known as like the loudest instrument in every band. So the harmonica will not, they won't be able to hear it. My plan is flawed.
Yeah.
Yes, that's why if you ever watch a bluegrass band, now it doesn't matter as much because they mic everything up. But if you're like back in the day, whenever they would have an actual like bluegrass group and they were in like an amphitheater or something or on a porch or whatever where they don't have mics, or typically with bluegrass music,
What a contrast. They're either on a
Either
porch or an
amphitheater-
amphitheater.
They're either Red Rock Amphitheater or they're just on their front porch.
it's very true. I mean,
Have you seen Hillbillies at the 7-Eleven?
but if you think about like a bluegrass group, typically they're all playing around one condenser microphone, like an omnidirectional microphone, and they're just gathering around it. It's really fun. It's really because they have to scatter themselves to mix themselves because they're only around one microphone. So they always put the
washboard's always the
banjo.
closest.
They always put the banjo like furthest from the mic. Like the banjo's like in the back corner because it's such a loud instrument. You
What if
typically
I had a
mandolin
trumpet?
is very close because the trumpet's like in the other room. But no, typically the trumpet would have
Trumpet's just in the audience.
typically the trumpet would have a mute. If there's a trumpet, it's very rare for a bluegrass group, but
Not
Yeah.
my bluegrass man.
Well,
Would
Where would my automaton fit? and
How-
It wouldn't fit.
How close would I have to get my spoons to be heard?
The spoons would be a genuine instrument. Yes.
My my granddad, my
Are you
mom's
trying to say the
granddad,
automaton
so
is
my
not-
great granddad, my great granddad played the spoons in a bluegrass band.
That's amazing.
That's
I
awesome.
watch videos of people playing the spoons, and I'm like, I could do that. And I pick up some spoons. I'm like, I don't know how.
I
do
used to
this.
play it when I was a kid.
Brad,
Not like in a band or anything. I
Can
would
you
just,
play the
like,
spoons,
sit down.
Brad?
My great aunt played the spoons, and every time I went over to her house, she's like, "You play drums, play the spoons with me," and I did. So, yes.
So you can do it.
I mean,
Who
her-
can't play the spoons?
her version of that, I don't
Well,
know.
I just mean like they're doing like the dub, like the.
I can't-
Like,
I
that
can't
kind
like
of
do
stuff.
that.
No.
Okay,
But I
that's
can-
what.
I
That's
can,
the
like,
thing that
play
impresses me.
spoons.
I could put two spoons opposite of one another and smack them all around my body.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
See,
fun.
the impressive
Fun as
part to
crap.
me is whenever they control the like vibrations of them and stuff like that to
Yeah.
get them to do double hits and triple hits and stuff.
That is impressive. Also, tap dancers are impressive.
Tap dancers are impressive. I feel like tap dancing is kind of underrated
Well, I feel like
by
every
me
time I've
because I
ever
haven't
seen-
thought about it in like 5 years.
Every time I've ever seen tap dancing live, I always go, they're not actually doing it. That's just always my instant thought.
It sounds so like perfect.
Yeah, you like watch it. I'm like, that's not real.
My freshman year of college, we had a talent show called Freshman Got Talent. Super
Love
creative
it.
name.
Yeah,
but,
love it.
I had a friend approach me, and we put an act together for this. Me and four other guys. Four other guys. We called ourselves the Front Street Fellas, and
Heck
this girl gets up there, and she has like 15 years of tap dancing experience.
Oh my
And
gosh.
she just crushes it. Like, it was one of the most impressive things I've ever seen in person. And she came in second to the Front Street Fellas
Heck yeah.
because we ribbon danced to the song "All the Above." And so we're
That's
just
the
sitting
tough
there.
thing about talent shows.
Yeah, like ribbon dancing around, having a good time. We like literally we threw a guy up, caught him in like a little cheerleading stunt. It was fantastic.
That's so funny.
And this poor girl was just she deserved to win. Katie, it was all you.
She was the most talented, but
That's true.
crowd involvement is the most important thing in any show.
Yeah.
That's if you're ever doing any kind of show where there's like something like that involved, have a drum break chorus where you get everybody to clap, you'll win.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what song you're doing.
But I'm a big, I don't like to lie, but I do like to take a truth and just stretch it as far as I can till it loses it. So I then, like a couple summers later, I was a rec leader at a summer camp, and I ended up having to teach a gymnastics course. I don't tumble. This guy, like, they were like, all right, someone's got to teach this. And I thought we were teaching something entirely different. And they were like, oh yeah, Mr. Robbie now has like a bunch of children and has to teach them gymnastics this week. Oh no. So I'm like looking up tumbling, things like that, asking for help. And then we got to the fourth day of the week and I was like, oh, we're going to do rhythmic gymnastics. Here we go.
Oh.
And I opened the day with, I'm an award-winning rhythmic gymnast.
It's not untrue.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Just a little stretch.
Yeah. It's their fault if they took that the wrong way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So back to the hillbilly talk and the tap dancing, but we so my family and I go to this place called Watauga. It's in West Virginia. We go
Okay.
there usually in the fall and or
West
winter.
Virginia is so beautiful.
It is. This place is like, it's one of the few places in the world that still has no cell phone service. Like there's one
awesome.
store, there's nothing, and there's no internet, there's nothing,
That's awesome.
and I love it. And I have a lot of funny stories from this, but this makes me think of something. They have something called like Heritage Day very close to there, and it's like they gather. There's like a big tent in the middle. There's a bluegrass band playing all day. There's a guy that teaches you like tap, but not like traditional tap dancing, but like it's not clogging, it's not tap dancing, but it's like
A fusion.
Appalachian
Clap
like,
dancing.
Yes,
Ooh, I see what you did there.
I like that. But yeah, it's like clogging, but with like your normal shoes, like the very like Appalachian style. And
Okay.
my my aunt or my sister-in-law said, "Hey, I really want to do this. Will someone do this with me?" And she thought I was going to say no, and I said, "Of course I'll do that." And it was amazing. They have like they make like old stews and like old school like food there, and they also like bring old weapons that you can shoot. So I got to
Cool.
shoot some flintlock, which is pretty
That's
fun.
crazy.
It was great. So hillbillies are good, is what I'm trying to say.
It sounds like a lot of fun. That sounds like super fun. Has anybody? Have you guys ever? So I heard Robbie's talent show story. I feel like there's other talent show
Yeah.
stories.
I was in a talent show.
Hit him with it,
I did. First off, I've already messed up this piece of wood that whoever put here.
Hunter. I worked so hard on that.
I didn't even know it was here. I just like looked down. I was like, well, I've already pivoted that out. I was wondering because I'm standing on wood, and I was like, why is there wood down here?
Hunter's mic stand always breaks the table, and so I put a piece of wood under to try to reinforce it.
Reinforcement gone.
That's the foundation way of like I looked down. I was like, "There's wood down here. Something happened. Something got left behind."
That's pretty redneck.
Guys, this studio looks really nice if you look behind them, but it is chaos everywhere else.
We're about to move. We're gonna do things right when we move. Gosh darn you, microphone man stand. Okay, I was on a talent show.
We also still have like
Stand-up comedy.
$12 mic stands.
30. Thank you.
Oh, sorry. They're $30.
Yeah.
Dang.
This feels like a good 30 of it. This is.
I don't know how
this
much
is a
that
nice
one was.
That microphone was $30.
Yeah. That microphone's the original grip lock microphone
Wow.
back in the day.
Sounds amazing. Sounds
Still
crisp as heck.
rolls.
Magic? You do magic in the talent show?
I did. So me and my friend Chip did a magic show, and then immediately after that,
What a great magic name.
Chip the magician.
I performed a song that I wrote.
Oh.
Yeah, played guitar and sang.
Dang, Hunter.
Wow.
There's video of it
Multifaceted.
somewhere. It's not on the internet.
What was
but
the song about?
It's called God's Will.
That's beautiful.
Okay.
I have the lyric sheet somewhere too.
I was going to make fun of you. Now I can't.
Yeah.
I was a little kid. I was in 5th grade.
Yeah.
That's awesome,
That's
Hunter.
impressive.
Did you win? Dang. Who won?
I don't know. It was a full school-wide talent show, so we
Oh,
were like
gotcha.
thrown in with high schoolers.
Mm.
And I know who won. Guy, his name was Daniel Porter, and he did yo-yo trick shots. Not trick shots,
That's
but
sick.
tricks, yo-yo tricks.
Is that Riley's?
Freestyle?
Is that Riley's brother?
No.
Different Porter?
Different Porter, I think. I don't think they're related.
I don't even know if Riley has a brother, so never mind.
He does.
Okay.
His name's Jared.
This
Okay.
seems yo-yo.
Anyways, Daniel, they did like the freestyle yo-yo where you like had the dice on the end and
That's
then
sick.
he like throw. He was
That's
insane. And like
amazing.
the thing where you like go and then you get the yo-yo to come off the string. He was wild.
Yo-yos
He
are sick.
he would like go to like yo-yo competitions.
Okay.
And so he just brought his routine from that and did it to Around the World by Daft Punk. So he won.
Yeah.
I don't remember who came in second or third. I do know there was
Doesn't
a band. It was my sister's boyfriend at the time. He and his band was like they weren't allowed to play at the talent show because they were too good. So they knew they would win. So instead they just booked them to perform after the talent show. So like the talent show ended and then they came out and they're basically just like a pop punk band. And so then they brought the house down after. So like they
name's
announced the
Panic
winner
at
and
the
all of
Disco.
that,
You may
and
have heard of
then
them.
Yeah.
and then they all came out, and it was like the coolest thing ever.
That's awesome.
That was our talent show. We only did it like 1 year. It was like a fundraiser thing, and it was when my mom was still on like the parent teacher association thing. So my mom put it all together and did everything. It was my sister's senior year, which was when I was in 5th grade. And so then once my sister graduated, my mom just like went to being like a classroom mom, whatever they called those.
Room mom.
So basically she just like for my 6th grade class would like help plan the like whatever parties you had in school. And so because that was much less involved than being on the like PTA board or whatever. But so she planned this whole talent show, sold tickets to it. It was like a sold out gym.
That's fun.
It was awesome. And then she was like, pass it on to whoever's going to do it next year. And they never did it. So it was a one and done talent show at our school.
That sounds awesome, though.
It was great. It was a good time.
I think talent shows are really fun. It's really funny that you say that because for a second there I thought you were literally stealing my story because we do that all the time. But we had a talent show when I was in high school. And so my freshman year of high school, I joined the talent show. And it was really, I went to like a really weird, like nerdy high school because it was like an early college program. So like all the people that got bullied in middle school went to this high school, me included, which is why I went there too. And so it was like a bunch of people who were all really timid and really weird. So,
which means they were filthy at something.
but no one had any confidence though. So everybody went on stage and it was like the first time that they had seen the light and they were all really nervous. And then I went up there as like a performing musician who had been performing like my whole life. And so I just went up there with my guitar and sang a song, and I did it with my sister. Yes. And then we played Roll Away Your Stone by Mumford & Sons. And we were
Solid
just the
choice.
only people who sounded like they could utter a word through the microphone again because we had done this before. And so we won, and they wanted to keep on doing the talent show, but I wanted to play with my band the next year, and the teacher that put it together said, you can't because it's not fair to everybody else, but we would like you to do a concert after the talent show while we're counting up votes. So it was like the exact same thing. So
did you date my sister?
Whoa.
So every year for like the rest of the time I was in high school, we would do the talent show. Like we would put on and we ended up like my dad ended up being the one that put on the talent show too, because we would use all of his sound equipment. So we would set up the talent show, run the whole thing, and then while they're counting up votes, my band would do a concert. It was really fun.
That's awesome. So I did the band thing for a long time, and I was lucky enough. Several of the people in my band when I started it in like middle school we stayed together for like 8 years, which is really cool. But we did a couple of talent shows at the beginning because that's just kind of what you did as a new band. You did covers and all that. We won a couple of those, but when we started to do our own originals and stuff, my parents, God bless my mom. She just was supportive, and my dad too. And they watched, like, this is when people still watch the news because I'm like sort of old, I guess. But they were the local news channel. We're in Ohio, but we were very close to West Virginia. So the big local news station was from Charleston, West Virginia, which is like almost 2 hours away.
That doesn't make any sense to me that Ohio is close to West Virginia in my head, but I'm also terrible at geography.
Yeah. I was from the little boot in Ohio, which was like literally took me like 7 minutes to get to West Virginia, like across the river. Anyway.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's how close we were. Anyway, so my mom saw on the news they were doing this like Charleston like ultra chili cook-off event in Charleston, like in main downtown Charleston. There was like going to be like 10,000 people there, and
wow.
They were doing like a submit like your talent for like this talent show, like virtual talent show at the time, and then they selected the winner, and the winner got to go play in front of all these people. Well, my mom just submitted it as like a video of us playing, and we won. So we got to get on there. We played in front of like 5,000 or 8,000 people.
Wow, that's awesome.
There,
that's awesome.
Which was kind of cool. But I always remember like, yeah, so what's the biggest show you played? Well, I played at this like chili cook-off, and they're like, oh, there's like a couple hundred people. No, there's like 8,000 people. So
that's awesome.
So that was a lot of fun. But yeah, we were kind of that way too. We were like the band that actually could play, like where I was. So we would get booked to play a lot of things, or like they would do fundraisers and they would book us to play, and we had a lot of connections with like even better bands like out of town. So they would be like us, and we'd bring another band in and raise money and stuff for the school. And we had something at my school every year in high school called the Variety Show. It's where all of like the musical, like the band department, the like arts department, the choir, like all of we had instrumentation classes and stuff at my high school. Very small high school, but we had a very good music and art program. And we would all come together once a year and do this like almost like 3 hour long show. And it would be like random, like you could audition to do like solos or like duets with people or like full group numbers, and there would be like dancing and singing. There would be full band, full like pit style band. So we were like, we got to do that every year, and I actually got to start doing that when I was in middle school, just because the band director like knew I was like good at drum set and brought me in, and like kind of under the watch of like this guy who's like in our area, like known as like the best drummer. So it was cool because like I forget what grade it was, maybe 10th grade. I was at that time we were kind of like splitting the variety show. He would play the harder stuff, and because it was cool because you play with like live band and everything, cool. And like live musicians, so it does take a little extra talent. But that year, like 2 weeks before the variety show happened, and this was a big thing, we would do like we would do a couple shows during the week for the school. We'd bring up elementary school, middle school, and then on the weekend, I think we would do like a Friday night, Saturday morning, Saturday night, Sunday. So it was a pretty big production. And like 2 weeks before, this guy, real deal Kevin Neal, shout out, he got mono and like was deathly sick. And the director was like, you got to play the whole thing. And I'm like, all right, let's get it. So that was always really fun. So we didn't really have like talent shows per se, but this is like, we had that every year where people could, like, and it wasn't just singing. Like there was one year, there was this girl that was very good at like guitar, like metal guitar, and her boyfriend, they did like this really cool dueling like Metallica
so cool.
like mashup, which is awesome.
That's really sick.
Cool stuff.
That's
very cool stuff.
Cool. We did whenever I was in college.
Look, I destroyed my finger.
Jeez.
That sounded rough. Just let everybody know. Brad got really passionate during that story and punched his mic stand.
They heard.
Pumped. I was so pumped. If you heard, that was
This is actually my new instrument.
Who needs the
spring.
spoons when you have springs? Yeah.
Whenever I was in college, so I was in this program in college called Artist Development. And so it was at Liberty. So there was a couple different options for music. You could go into like music education, wasn't smart enough for that. Also didn't want to be a teacher. You go into music and worship, which more for like worship leaders or people who wanted to lead like stuff like that in churches and be like a music director in churches, which was like kind of what I wanted to do. But then there was one that I called the rock and roll degree. And it was artist development. And it was like pitched to me as like, this is for people who want to just like grow and be like really advanced at performance, at like stage presence, crowd engagement, all that stuff. And I was like, that sounds awesome. And like our best vocal teacher at the school was the head of this degree. And the easiest way to get, or not the easiest way, because you had to audition for the degree. You had to, but if you got into the artist development program, you would automatically get put in her studio, so she would be your vocal coach. So that was like the main selling point to me, because she was like known in the school as like the best vocal coach, and I was like, I want her, but her studio is so full you can't get in it. So then a friend of mine was like, you should audition for the artist development thing, because he was auditioning for it too. And he was like, auditions are like at the end of this week, we should just go do it. And I was like, whatever. I was like, I don't really want to do that, because I didn't want to do anything that took extra effort in college, because I'm not good at, I am silly. And so we auditioned for it, and then I got it, and I got in her studio, and it was awesome. But we would always do these things in artist development called the Artist Development Showcase. So each semester, you would have an artist development showcase, and all the people who are in the artist development program, which is probably like 20 people, I would think, you choose what song, and you find your band and whatever, or the school will put together a band for you if you don't find a band or whatever, and then you perform that song. Basically, whatever song shows you as an artist the best. So it's literally like you just go show off for your 4-minute slot. And it was just this whole like concert of one student would go, they would get off stage, the next student would go, they would go off stage. So you literally have like your 4-minute slot to show you like as an artist. And the whole time they like sell tickets to it and everything. It's in like the state-of-the-art concert hall. It's awesome. But like 5 professors are sitting in the back grading you on like your voice, like your vocal technique, your performance, your engagement, eye contact, like all that, your movements, and like everything. They're grading you on it. And so it was like really intense. But everyone that was at like in this program, there was like 2 kind of acts that would happen during the showcase. Either they were like dirty gospel artists, like they were just singing these incredible runs, and their band was so tight, and their drummers are insane, like just super good gospel like tracks going on, which is crazy impressive, and I can never do that. And so those would go on, and you just be listening, and you're like, this is just the most amazing thing I've ever heard. But there's so many people doing that like if you don't like love that stuff, it gets a little bit repetitive after a while. I was always blown away from it the whole time. And then there's people who like just get up there and like sing Oceans by Hillsong and like just sing like a worship song, and it's just like it's kind of boring. They're just singing a worship song. But then my band was the only band of this kind. We were like in high school I was all like folk bluegrass music, but in college I was all like alternative indie rock. Like I just did I only cared about indie rock. And so we basically would just show up, 2 electrics, a bass, keys, and drummer, and we would just play rock songs. And I would write, we would do original songs that I would write as rock songs. And my senior year, we did this song that was like a proper rock song. Like the end had this like heavy like movement in it. And so we were always so jarring to everybody, because they'd be listening to like gospel renditions just like that, and they'd hear like a worship song, and we'd be like, and we were like, and so my last year we stood up on the drum risers, and we jumped off the drum risers and everything. So it was really fun. We're the only people in the School of Music to ever jump off the drum riser. So that's a fun repertoire to have, I guess.
It's on his resume,
Resume, yeah.
Hey, do you guys remember like that full year that Hunter thought I was a jazz drummer?
That's what was told to me.
He's still sore about this. I don't.
No, what Silas said, there's a new drummer. Silas said there's a new drummer coming to the church. He's a jazz drummer. He was a touring jazz drummer, is what was told to me. And then Brad showed up next Sunday.
And he's like,
What am I supposed to- what am I
who is
supposed to
this
believe?"
guy? And that's flannel. He's not.
No, I was just like, oh, he's a jazz drummer.
I think I heard that about you too.
Yeah, well,
and
I told
thought,
Konner, I was like, dude, Brad's a dirty drummer. He was a jazz drummer.
and I just
then
thought, he's a jazz drummer? That means
then
that he's really good.
that's what Konner said. He said, oh, if he's a jazz drummer, he's really good. I was like, I can attest. He's a really good drummer. I watched him
Also,
play.
if you're a punk drummer, you're also very good.
Yeah. Well, in
Two
college,
of the best drummers in music.
Yeah. Well, when I was in college, I actually.
Pop drummer. I'm just kidding.
Hey.
They don't exist.
Hey, rest in peace,
a bad
Aaron
joke.
Spears.
Then you're a
My bad,
computer.
guys.
If you're a pop drummer, you're a computer.
Yeah. Well, that's not true. But yeah. Rest in peace, Aaron Spears. If you know who that is, sad loss to the drumming community. He's a pop drummer. He's incredible. So
Pop drummers are this, right?
Yeah.
Just play the MIDI pad.
yeah. Hey, I'll
I'll
send you a video of Aaron Spears. Okay.
Wow, she's really good.
But just so you know, I'm not in. So I did do a music education degree for 3 years, and then I just quit because I got bored. Really, if I'm being honest. But all 3 years, being at percussion, like that was my main instrument, my main focus, and I had to be piano second if that was a requirement.
That's how it was for us.
But
too.
I also like a requirement for me as a drummer, as one of the only drummers that could drum really at the time in this school of music, I had to be a part of the rock ensemble, which was fun, and I also had to be a part of the jazz ensemble, and I had to learn to play like
Jazz drummer.
He is a jazz drummer.
I had to learn
yeah.
to play 4-mallet vibraphone and stuff.
Oh,
and
that's sick.
it
Yeah,
was-
that people don't realize that that's part of percussion. Like I didn't realize it until I was in college.
guitar's
I-
percussion, piano's percussion, banjo's percussion.
Yeah, I had people that were percussion primaries, and so I'm just thinking they're on drum kit and snare and stuff like that. But then I go to like the most fun concerts to go to are percussion ones because they're playing bells, they're playing oh my gosh, marimba. Watching people play the marimba is like the most fun thing ever because they've got the four mallets in their hand doing like all back and forth like that. So were you playing marimba too?
Yeah, marimba, vibraphone,
Marimba's awesome.
all that. So I was just saying that like I did have jazz experience for 3 years in playing drum set and other things in jazz band. But where this came from is that the setup I use is technically like kind of a
Yes.
jazz setup for a drum kit, which pop punk drummers typically
Yes.
like Travis
Yeah, yeah.
Barker,
It's like a three-piece
which is
drum
really just a high tom, a low tom, snare, kick. That's
Yeah.
like all the drums I'm using. Really just using a ride, 2 crashes, and a hi-hat. So that is where the jazz thing came from.
Because you were more telling them like your setup.
Yes.
I was just told he's a jazz drummer and he was a touring jazz drummer.
Hunter's
That's
just
what I told
spreading
everyone.
propaganda about Brad.
Hey, yeah. Well,
He does free jazz.
yeah. Smooth interpretive jazz ribbon dancing.
Interpreted.
Yeah, you play some music. I'll grab some ribbons and I'll put on a show.
Remind me, I have to. It's almost Christmas time. I think I'm finally not embarrassed enough and like you guys enough to show you some of my band stuff. So that'll
Oh,
be.
heck yeah.
And one of them is we covered. I had this studio. We had this apartment. My wife and I, when we first got married, it was cool because we had an apartment. It was a really nice apartment, and across the way was an old doctor's office. Like,
yeah.
off the street. We had a half address. It was like 210 and a half. It was really cool. I felt like I was in Harry Potter. But you open the door, you go up these stairs above these businesses on a front street, and then our apartment's on the right, and then there's an old doctor's office on the left. Like old, like woodwork, very cool, but it was just abandoned. And I asked my landlord, I'm like, hey, I'm in music education. I do music production. Can I turn that into a studio? And she's like, yeah, sure. Because we were like friends with the landlord. So it was really cool because I had a control room that was like the waiting room. The main like it was like a very small old school doctor's office. So there was like a exam room. That was the live room. It was big enough for like drum set, guitars, all that. And then there was a storage closet that uses the vocal booth. It was very cool.
That's so sick.
We recorded the Heat Miser, Snow Miser song from Year Without Santa Claus and did a cover of that. And still one of my favorite covers we've ever done. So I'll show you guys
We just
that.
watched The Year Without Santa Claus on Saturday.
'Tis the season.
I watched The Grinch this morning before I came to work. So.
Okay.
What? Did you watch The Grinch this morning?
Yeah. We got Luke up. We gave him his breakfast, and we all watched The Grinch while we ate breakfast.
Oh my
which
gosh,
version
it's
of The Grinch do you watch?
hilarious.
Luca likes the new cartoon version. My personal favorite is the Jim Carrey.
What is he,
live
some kind of
action.
baby?
And then-
Yeah. He hasn't seen the live action one. Liz is scared it's going to scare him. but
Probably.
It's
I
a
don't
little
think it will.
terrifying.
He
like,
loves
in a
The
weird
Grinch.
way.
I love Jim Carrey.
What's your favorite? See, I love the claymations. They've always been my favorite.
I'm scared of claymation.
The Year Without Santa Claus is great. What's the you put one foot in front.
Is that Jack Frost?
It's a Santa Claus.
Or is it?
Is it just called the Santa Claus? The claymation one?
Maybe. The songs get kind of mixed together for me.
Because it's that exact same style.
I feel like, yeah, the origin story of Kris Kringle. Yeah, the Santa Claus.
Santa Claus coming to town.
Yeah,
that's
the one.
it.
I also like Jack Frost. It's probably my second favorite.
Frack Jost.
Frack Jost. Yeah.
I got a lot of Christmas movies to watch. This is the one time of year I watch movies.
Yeah.
So from now till December 25th, I mean, I got to watch Santa Claus 1, Santa Claus 2, Santa Claus 3.
Yeah.
I got to watch The Grinch 15 more
Allen.
times.
I do.
Got to watch the original Grinch
Yeah.
too. 'cause
Did
you
you
gotta
watch
sneak that in
Did you
there.
watch the new Santa Claus, the newer one?
The TV show?
the TV show?
Oh, the
one?
TV show.
I haven't
Yeah,
seen
yeah,
the
yeah.
TV show.
I
It was
couldn't
okay.
do it.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. 'Cause
I thought
love
it was
the
fun.
Elvis
It was
so much.
tough.
I thought it was fun because it still had Tim Allen in it, and seeing some of the elves, the original elves, all grown up was very fun.
I haven't watched it. What is it on?
I don't remember. It was fine.
Disney?
Is it on Disney? I have Disney.
Disney.
Yeah,
Disney
I have
Plus.
Disney Plus.
I don't necessarily feel comfortable just saying go watch it. It's good. It was fun. It satisfied a
Nostalgic.
Christmas desire.
You just have to
yes.
appreciate it for what it is. and
No,
don't try to
Christmas
put
movies.
it.
I'll watch Hallmark movies.
Yeah.
They're not good,
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
but they scratch an itch.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Christmas time is a time where you put your movie,
Quality.
your movie prejudice aside,
Yeah,
and you
it's
just
for
watch
everyone.
crappy movies because it puts you in a good mood.
I gotta watch Home Alone.
Yep.
I
Jingle all the
love
way.
Home
Am I
Alone.
right?
Oh, yeah.
Jingle
Very
all
well.
the
I love
way.
Home Alone.
Arnold doing his work.
I have an unpopular opinion.
Okay.
Ooh.
Maybe we should save opinions about Christmas movies for a later Banter podcast.
It's November. It's already
Banter,
Christmas.
baby.
Yeah,
My
we're in-
tree's
Alright.
been up for a week.
I
It's true. I don't know why people are laughing.
Gabby and I made a rule, which is a very good rule.
love
The
it.
reason why we don't decorate for Christmas yet is we wait for real trees to go on sale. Like
we
for
don't do
people
real
to start-
trees.
We do real trees. We did
I
do real
wish.
trees because one, they were fun. Also, we didn't used to have space to store a fake tree. Now we do, but I think we're gonna stick to the real trees because that's fun. Also, real trees used to try to kill me whenever I was a child.
Yeah, I remember that.
I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I think my outside lights will go up probably this weekend. That's probably the
Wow.
plan.
That's I respect
Wow.
it. Dude.
To be
Yeah.
fair, I am planning on putting my house lights on in the next couple weeks. We kind of do a slow trickle. Yeah.
Lindsay decorated for fall 2 weeks ago at our house. So
I do like fall decorations. That's the
We
hard
decorate for
'cause-
fall in beginning of September. So we have like all September,
Yeah.
October, but November 1st, all that's boxed up. Christmas stuff's brought up.
Just think about like me and all of my favorite colors. They're all like fall colors. So I like it whenever our house is decorated in like browns and oranges and mustard yellow specifically. and stuff
Mustard
like
yellow?
that. I'm just kidding. There's no mustard yellow in our house. My wife would never let that happen.
I wish we were a fake tree family. I'll be the first to admit that. I was raised a fake tree family. My mom
I
has a
was
Christmas
too.
tree in every single room in the house.
Yeah.
And so they're all themed differently and whatnot.
I think it's
She
so
started
fun that you have a
decorating
different
November
tree
1st.
every year though.
Well, they're all the same. Yeah, like you think that's. I'm with you. That's Lindsay likes the smell of it. That was never a draw to me
'Cause you couldn't smell.
I couldn't smell. So
Big
Is
year
this
for
gonna be
you.
your first year smelling a tree?
Big year for you?
I could smell last year, so it's not that rush. But we've now worked out a system that we have family friends who own a lake house about 45 minutes away from us, and they love to catch catfish at their lake, and so
Catfish
we
tree.
take our Christmas tree every year, and they would always have to drive over because I didn't have a truck, and they would pick up our Christmas tree, and then they sink it outside of their dock to create like a place for catfish.
Oh
to
yeah,
come
yeah,
in.
yeah. Christmas trees make really good cover for fish, for bass and catfish.
So
That's interesting. I never would have known that.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense, but I never would have thought
A
of
lot
that.
of people who have docks, like on lakes, they will sink Christmas trees near their docks because it makes their dock way better for fish.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We do. So we have a tree in our living room. We typically put a tree in our bedroom, but I feel like we're actually gonna put it in Luca's room this year. And then we have like a A-frame, and there's a loft up top. And so we put a tree in the main big window, and then we put 2 smaller trees in the side windows, and we put those on timers. So every night they all light up. And then I always do the roof light. I have a Grinch blow up in the front. I wrap my front tree with lights, and then I wrap colored lights around my backyard fence. So that's for us because no one else can see that, but we love that.
Yeah.
And then Liz just kind of goes to Hobby Lobby. She keeps the sticker on her Hobby Lobby stuff.
I love this. I
So
don't
that
know
every
why.
year she can just walk. It's basically the Harbor Freight thing
Yeah,
Konner
yeah,
does,
yeah.
but with Hobby Lobby. So she just walks in and exchanges for whatever new
I don't know.
decoration she wants.
It would be bold for me to try to judge that after what I say that I do at Harbor Freight. So.
Yeah, well, she does it with TJ Maxx too. I mean, if
Yeah.
you're gonna have a never-ending exchange policy,
Yeah.
then what are
You
you
gotta be
waiting for?
prepared for
It's like
it,
an
yeah.
insurance policy. There's hoping people don't do it, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
And most people won't.
I'm pretty excited. I don't really know what our tradition for decorating for Christmas is going to be. I know we're going to do lights on the house. I mean, it's just like different. Like we own our house now. Well, our house owns us at least. So
So last year I've always tried to ride a line. Like I like kind of like clean Christmas decorations even in our house. Like our tree, our main tree in the downstairs like bigger living room that's the one I like. All the old school ornaments, like it just kind of has its own flow. It just has a vibe. But the rest of the house we have just like white lights, very clean, simple, more winter decorations, and like we don't have like Santas or anything like that. Just like clean. But Kimberly and I in the last 2 years have decided like we want to be that yard. We want to be the yard that is just outrageous.
That's fun.
So every year we're like building more and more like the like blow mold decorations, the like the ones you put together that are like animals. And like I last year bought this like programmable thing I could do my lights and make
Heck
do
yeah.
different programs.
That's cool.
And we had done white lights only on our house and in our yard. But last year we did all colors, and again I'm making them blink and do their like running thing. And then we started making these light balls that we have 2 huge pine trees in my front yard, and we started putting them in like these big. They look like big ornaments, just like
Heck
hanging
yeah.
in them. So my goal is I want people to be able to see the light from my yard from the road,
From
Yeah.
space.
from space. Yeah, I want Clark Griswold just like boom, and like it takes the power grid down.
That's
rest,
what.
rest in peace, Chevy Chase.
So the guy across the street from me,
I don't think is he dead?
don't know.
I don't think he is.
He's a creep though.
yeah, he is.
Guy across the street from me, he always goes all out, and then the guy that's down the street goes even more all out.
Are
So
you in a competition? Are you?
No,
oh,
I don't go all out.
Okay.
But I want to at one point in my life. They're both retired, so like when they do it, they do it right.
yeah.
But they're like houses that people drive to our neighborhood to see. So I just want our house to be acceptable enough that when you drive
Yeah.
into the neighborhood, you're like, oh, it's cute, as you're looking at our neighbors.
Yeah.
That's kind of because like that's kind of how our neighborhood is you either like put something together that you can be proud of, or you leave all your lights off.
Yeah.
There's no in between. Like
I
if you
like
go in
that.
between, then I feel like you're shamed.
It's either go all out or hide.
Yeah.
Go big or
But I
stay
do
home.
once this was actually I think Liz saw this on Instagram or something, like I think literally 2 years ago Christmas is when we found out we were pregnant. And so I think it was at that point she decided this is what she wanted to do, which was once he's 3. So probably next year we'll might try it, but probably won't work. But once he's 3, it should work, where you basically just give him a map or like draw our house like a block and let him just draw where he wants lights and decorations.
Oh,
and
that's
then we
fun.
just go and do that in our front yard.
I like
So
that.
it's going to just look chaotic and like a mess, but he'll be proud of it because like he did it.
I like that.
And then every time he shows up, it'll be like,
I might
his
I
world.
might steal that. My kids are obviously much older, but they would like be thrilled. Now, here's the danger. Lucas will be cute. Mine will be like I'll come home and there's like a reindeer in the top of my pine
but
tree.
like that's fun. Think how fun that'd be.
I would be proud.
It would be. I
would be
did
proud.
see. I've seen like houses where they'll like light, and we thought about doing this because it makes your life way easier, and it's also funny where you get like a blow up Grinch, and then you light like half the house, and then you run the lights from the house down, and then
Yeah,
like put all
that
the
is
lights in the
funny.
Grinch's hands, like he's
Yeah.
stealing it off the house.
That is
Well,
very
thematic.
funny.
Because then you only have to light half the house.
All right, I got to admit something. I spent
Okay.
a lot of time researching this and wasted a lot of my life doing this, but I know I have to like keep myself from stuff because I'll get obsessed with it and I'll just make it my life. But have you seen the guys that like program all their
Yes.
lights to music?
I will
and
be that
everything?
person one day.
I know how to do it, and I've just been every year.
I've watched a lot of YouTube videos on it.
Yeah,
I just know it would take too much time.
Same. I'm like, I can't. I will literally get. My wife will divorce me because I will not pay any attention to her because I will devote like 3 months to this only, and no one else will exist or anything will exist.
But there will be a point in my life where that will be my house.
Yeah. Hey, when we can take the time and like in January, you're like, all right, I'm gonna start working on December's light and trigger board for next year's Christmas. Then you got plenty of time.
Yeah, then you're fine.
I can't go do it now because I will literally spend all my time doing it.
I got to be honest, and I'm sorry if I offend anybody, but something that I'm not a fan of is whenever people just get those cheap lights that you put out in your yard and it projects lights onto your house.
No, that's awful.
It's lazy. It's lazy, and you want people to think that you care about Christmas, but you're lazy.
It doesn't look good.
I will say,
Robbie, do you do that?
I don't, but my mother-in-law does.
Okay, that's fine. You hate
your mother-in-law.
He hates your mother-in-law.
It's a very mother-in-law thing to do.
It is.
How dare you? That's his mother-in-law.
Now I have seen where
they pay someone to come decorate their house.
Oh,
and then they do that.
Then it's like my father-in-law found it and was like, "Oh, this is kind of funny," and gave it to her. And so like we're kind of in the world of like, did she put it up because she thinks that he wants it, or but then he makes fun of it's a very
my
weird
parents
relationship.
because like my brother's also in the same vein of me of like one day he will do the like we should probably just pick a house and both do it together because that will save us a lot of time. But so he gets every year finds more and more videos, people going more and more intense, where like people now have projectors, kind of like if you've ever been to Liberty and you see DeMoss, where like the whole front of DeMoss they control,
or at Disney where they project on the castle.
Exactly, same thing. They do it to a house, and so they'll have like the whole house is just like you can animate everything, and so then the people animate it. Well, my dad got a much smaller pre-animated version, where in what used to be my sister's bedroom is like the front main part of their house. There's a big window right above the front door. So it's like the front door, little like roof over it, and then this big window. And what he bought is you can hang a sheet on that that big window and then use it as a projector screen.
And do like rear projection?
And a rear projection from the bedroom. And so it's like Santa. Or you can pick different ones, but the one he put up last year or 2 years ago whenever he first got it, was like you'd pull into their house at night and it like Santa would be like run and like stop and look at you and then like freak out and then like run back in and like it did like just dancing different stuff, and so like there's just like a Santa up there nonstop. Very fun. So there is a tasteful way to do projections.
I like that.
Yeah.
I will say
I'm just talking about just like the pin like color lights.
The light is just like lasers on your house.
Okay.
As seen on TV box.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have those in my setup, but here's how I use them. So I have a full line of pine trees down like the right side of my yard, and if I angle it right, it shoots on all of them. So I have all my main big decorations here, shoot all of them, and then
I was ready to shame you if
and on the right or the left side, if I aim it over the house, like when it's dark, it looks like the tree line in my woods are lit up.
No, okay. Let me be clear.
Full effect.
If you use that as like a prop in your decorations, that's fine. I don't
saying
like
exclusively
it
only
whenever
that.
people are like, it's time to decorate for Christmas, and they go outside and they put one of those things in their yard, and then it's just
and like, look, there's snowflakes on the side of my house.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate those. These are like they're like green and red, and they like move.
That's it. Yeah, you can. I think they're great if you use them with something, but you just put that out there, and it's not even the way it looks. It's just
there's no effort.
It's just the kind of person, you know.
How
like,
dare
come
they?
on, just give up. Just give up.
Don't light
try
your house.
Yeah, don't try a little bit. Just do it all good, or turn your lights off like in a hunter's neighborhood.
Yeah, you either all in or all out.
I think you got three options. No lights. There's more than three options. Let me give
three acceptable.
Let me give three options to me. No. Okay, these are my three options.
Okay.
No lights.
Yep.
Okay. Go for aesthetic, pretty lights. Probably what we'll do this year. So like white lights and like all that stuff. That's good. If you want to be the pretty house,
classic.
That's great. I think that's what I'm gonna go for this year. Whenever I have kids, then you have the option for, sounds like what Brad does, which I love. So don't take offense to this word I'm going to choose to use. The gaudy house.
Yeah, that's what
I love that.
That's what we say. Like that's what we want to be.
That's fun.
We want people to be
totally
like, that
fun.
might be a little much. That's
but if you
what
put
I want
like
people to
one
say.
strip of colored lights, then you're in the rough place because you're like, it's gaudy and it's not fun. You're just unaware.
There's a Adam Sandler movie on Netflix, I think it is, Hubie Halloween.
That's a fun movie.
I've not seen that.
And I think of Hubie's yard in
Yeah.
that movie, and
Yeah.
it is like, I mean, you can't see the grass because there's so many inflatables and things like that.
Yeah.
That's if I like.
Oh my god.
I struggle to decorate. I just don't find passion in decorating. Like, because if I decorate,
Yeah.
that also gathers dust, and I have a dust allergy, and so I'm just like, there's just more things that are trying to.
And
kill
then
me.
you have to feel the sadness of Christmas is over and I have to do manual labor.
Now I have to take them down. Yeah. But if I ever,
Because at least setting them up,
get
you're
that
like
itch-
you're
yeah.
fueled by like, ooh, this is so fun. It's
That's
Christmas
why you
time.
have to do it early November. You get basically
Yeah.
2 full months of enjoying. The
I have
fruits
like
of
a
your labor.
real problem where like as soon as Christmas morning is over, I'm like, everybody stop. It's Christmas is over. Stop. I don't want to see Christmas because everybody's like, ooh, let's watch it. Like it's the day after. It's like, let's watch Christmas movie. No. Christmas is over. I don't want to be excited about Christmas anymore because it's done.
Yeah.
It's not here anymore.
Yeah, no, we occasionally will have like a Christmas party on like the 26th or 27th. Always hated that.
Yeah, I hate that.
We'll leave decorations
It's
up.
false hope.
Most decorations up through New Year's, but like the 27th, 28th, like before New Year's, my outdoor lights aren't coming on anymore. It's done. And then by like the first or second week of January, everything's down. All of it. Because that's what some people are like, no, we don't decorate till Thanksgiving, but we leave it up through January. And I'm like, oh, so you're celebrating something that happened a month and a half ago? Yeah, that's way better than celebrating
Yeah.
a month early.
Because then people are just annoyed driving by.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh, Christmas isn't here anymore. It's
People
sad.
are lazy.
Yeah. Versus
Exactly.
right now, you might be
Yeah.
like, oh, look at that guy. He's celebrating Christmas so early. Wow, he has spread joy into my heart. How dare he?
Yeah, exactly.
Versus after, it's like, wow, way to remind me what happened a month ago and the joy I felt back then. You little spiteful person.
I'm typically not, I'm not super passionate about when you start celebrating Christmas. Okay,
I started in July.
I know you did, but I'm not super passionate. I'm not super passionate about it. Like where like you have to or you can't.
Yeah.
Like I don't have a strong opinion on it. But I'm usually like I don't freak out over let's start celebrating early. I'm like, let's let Thanksgiving happen and stuff like
For
that.
Thanksgiving, man.
And Gabby and I walked into, I mean, this was like a while ago. Well, no, it wasn't. It was 2 weeks ago. We walked into Home Goods. Christmas decked out in Home
baby.
Goods. Makes sense. People need to get their decorations early.
Yeah.
And I walked in, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not ready for this yet. I'm not, because in my heart, I was so busy during fall. I've been so busy during fall that I haven't gotten to enjoy it, it feels like. So I feel like we were like 4 weeks into fall before I even realized it was fall time because I was like so busy. And so like I don't even feel like I've been able to look at the leaves and like all this stuff. So I'm like, I'm not ready for Christmas yet because fall is still going on. But then we walked around for like 2 minutes and I was like, this is kind of fun though. I'm kind of excited about Christmas. Fine.
Thanksgiving is just a day in the midst of Christmas celebration.
There is a house near my old house, so it's on Ford Ave, and it's got to be 100 blow up penguins.
Yes.
Have you seen that house?
I haven't seen that house.
I've
I've seen
seen
a lot
it.
of
Is
like,
it Mr. Popper or?
yeah.
It's like you
Yeah.
can't see their yard because it's so covered. Gabby and I drove by it the first year that we lived in our old house, and we were both like, "What was that?" And we like turned around and looked at it, and it was just like hundreds of the same inflatable penguins.
awesome.
It was awesome.
I love whoever that is. That's some commitment.
It was
that I
so
can get
much
behind.
fun. That power pill just had to be insane.
Little Clark Griswold action.
Like it
where
was
he just-
so the population of penguins was unsafe. Like they were all deformed because they were so smushed together in his yard.
Hilarious.
It was awesome.
In your Christmas movie celebration, do you watch Christmas Vacation?
Yeah. Of course.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a regular. That's
Also, Tim
usually the
Allen.
first one we
No,
watch.
that's Christmas with the Cranks.
Christmas with the Cranks, yeah.
I think about that as Christmas Vacation because they try to go.
They
on
try to go on a
vacation.
vacation.
Yeah. Christmas Vacation. That's Chevy Chase.
Yeah.
Where are you going to put it? Bend over and I'll show you. That's a little
I
rude.
don't know.
I wasn't talking to you.
Marco. Why is the floor wet, Todd?
Great movie.
Cool.
All right, should we spin?
Yeah,
How long
spin.
It's
Wheel.
been 59 minutes and
Oh,
10 seconds.
Beautiful timing.
Wow. Pristine.
All right, predictions on the wheel. It's going to be Silas,
Ooh.
and it's going to be
Okay.
Trevor.
I don't think
All
the
right.
wheel hates Trevor.
I think Trevor is for sure getting there. I think it's going to be
I think the
Trevor
wheel.
and ABB.
I think the wheel can tell how much we love Trevor, and it doesn't choose him out of spite.
Well, it's spinning.
Let's let the wheel speak
And-
for itself.
It's gonna be Trevor.
Come
Oh,
on.
one
Trevor,
for one.
welcome
Come on,
back.
One for
Trevor.
one.
Come on, Trevor.
Take your shirt off. Dang, just me. And it will be. Wow.
2 for 2,
Silas.
baby.
Silas, come on. Wow,
Silas and
Brad.
Trevor.
That was impressive, Brad.
Well played. Well played.
Silas and Trevor.
Let's do a fully shirtless podcast next time. Just
That's fine with me. I'm not on it.
Yeah. Game on.
Love it.
Fine by me.
Hey,
Everyone in agreement?
I'll
Yeah.
have-
Yeah.
Majority
yeah,
rule.
yeah, yeah.
All I
Majority
say
on this
aye.
podcast
Aye.
rule. Oh,
Aye,
Connor's
aye,
the only
aye.
one who would care.
Everyone's good. Everyone's good.
Make sure you listen to audio next week.
All right, what noise we doing, Connor? Or did we get rid of that?
No, I don't think we
we
got
still
rid of it.
do it every once in a while. I don't know. What you got, Hunter? Chris's
I think
man?
we do the noise of.
Jingle bells.
Sure, yeah.
No.
Like it.
No.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
What were you
Never
gonna
mind.
say,
That's a
Hunter?
The
terrible
noise
idea.
of you plugging your lights in and they don't work at your house. So you got the whole setup up and you're
All
ready
right.
to see it.
All right.
I got mine. Oh, dang. I should have got the warranty on these at Harbor Freight.
Ooh.
Oh, frick! That was it.
I like it.
Leroy?
Why am I always the one who has to fix all the bulbs?
All right.
Probably more realistic.
Here we go. Cohen, Eli, plug it in.
That's the banter.